Sit down. No, really, sit. Because if we're going to break the way you've been giving your power away, you're going to have to stay until the end. You owe yourself at least that. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You get into a discussion, or a fight, or just a conversation. You explain, you justify, you defend yourself. You use every smart sentence you know, and somehow, you still walk away feeling like you lost. Your chest is tight, your throat is burning. Hours later, you're still replaying the scene in your head, thinking of what you should have said. You had the better arguments. You had the truth, but they walked away with the power. You think that happened by accident? No, you got played, not by them. By a script that's running inside your head. The script that says, if I don't defend myself, I'm weak. If I don't answer, I'm guilty. If I don't argue, they win. I'm Tyler, and I'm here to rewire that script. From now on, we play a different game. You never defend yourself. You never chase validation. You stop fighting battles that are rigged from the start. You don't win by talking louder. You win by needing less. You win with silence. No, not the silence of a scared kid who doesn't know what to say. The silence of somebody who knows exactly who they are and refuses to audition for anyone. You've tried their way. You've explained yourself. You've over-explained yourself. You've repeated your story, your logic, your side of things over and over, hoping someone out there would finally say, you're right. I see you. People don't push you into arguments because they want the truth. They push you because they want control. They want your reaction, your attention, your emotional energy. And every time you jump to defend yourself, you're feeding them. You're the buffet. Here's the reality no one taught you. The person who can sit in silence, fully calm, fully present, is the one holding the gun under the table. The world told you your voice is your power. That's cute. Your real power is your ability not to use it when everyone expects you to. There was this German guy, hated the herd, loved the truth raw. He said most people don't argue because they love truth. They argue because they're terrified it might not be on their side. So they shout, they overtalk you, they interrupt, they dramatize. Because if they keep the room loud enough, fast enough, no one will notice how fragile their position really is. You fell for it. You thought you had to step into their theater, stand under their spotlight, and prove you deserve to exist there. Defend your point, justify your choice, explain your feelings. I have one rule for you. You say you're tired, tired of not being heard, tired of being talked over, tired of going home angry at yourself. Good, use that. Because from now on, every time someone tries to pull you into an argument, I want a little voice in your head that sounds like me saying, don't defend, watch. Someone throws accusations at you. Why didn't you call? You never care. You always do this. You're so selfish. You start talking fast. You try to fix, explain, negotiate, clean the mess. Now imagine doing the opposite. You breathe. You look at the person. You say nothing. Your face stays calm. Your body stays still. You don't roll your eyes. You don't smirk. You don't escalate. You just remove the thing they were really addicted to, your reaction. Do you know what happens next? Their brain starts eating itself alive. Silence is not empty for them. Silence is a mirror. And most people can't stand what they see. They start wondering, did I go too far? Did I lose them? Can they see how insecure I actually am? Why aren't they protesting? Or they change the angle, or they suddenly play victim. Because here's the secret. People who thrive on drama need your reaction like oxygen. You cut off the oxygen, they panic. This is why your silence scares them more than your anger ever did. Your anger is still a form of participation. Your silence is a refusal to play. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to become an inert rock. This isn't about being passive. Passive silence is, I'm scared, so I'll shut down. Strategic silence is, I see the game and I decline to play. One rots you from the inside out. The other turns you into someone people don't mess with twice. You want to understand the difference? Let's break it down. There are two types of silence. You've been using the first one your whole life. The silence of submission. That's the silence where you swallow your anger because you're scared they'll leave. You avoid conflict because you can't stand the idea of someone disliking you. You let people cross your boundaries and then say, it's fine, I'm fine. I'm just tired. You call it maturity, keeping the peace, being the bigger person. It's defeat with a nice filter. The second silence is the one I'm handing you now. The silence of presence. The silence of someone who knows exactly what they think, exactly what they feel, exactly what they'll tolerate, and no longer wastes breath trying to sell that to anyone. That silence doesn't shrink. It doesn't apologize. It doesn't explain itself to earn permission to exist. That silence is a wall, not a prison wall, a fortress wall. On the outside, people throw their opinions, their projections, their complaints. On the inside, you decide what gets in. That German philosopher had a word for the kind of person who lives like that. He called them beyond the herd. You don't have to memorize the word. You just need to understand the concept. You've spent your whole life in the first group. It's time you move to the second. But Tyler, how do I actually do this? What does it look like? Now you're asking the right questions. I'm going to give you rules, not fluffy affirmations. Operational rules you can use the next time someone tries to pull your strings. Rule number 1, you do not defend yourself. If someone has already decided who you are in their head, your explanation will not free you. It will only give them more material to twist. They say, you're selfish. No, I'm not. Look at everything I've done for you. Maybe you're entitled to your opinion. Rule number 2, you stop explaining decisions that are not up for negotiation. You're allowed to choose where you go, who you see, what you accept, what you walk away from, without holding a press conference. Family, partners, co-workers, strangers online. Everybody wants a statement from you. A justification. You don't owe it. A simple, that doesn't work for me. Or, I'm not available for that. No biography attached. Rule number 3, you stay longer in the pause than your fear wants you to. The first few times you do this, your nervous system will scream, say something, fill the space, fix it. You think tension is your enemy. It isn't. Tension is leverage. In negotiation, the person who tolerates silence better usually wins. Rule number 4, you observe like a scientist, not like a scared child. While they talk, you're not waiting to jump in. You're gathering data. Where do they get emotional? Where do they contradict themselves? Where does their voice tremble? What are they afraid you'll see? You're not collecting this to hurt them. You're collecting it to stop letting them hurt you. When you finally speak, if you speak, it'll be precise. One sentence, calm, surgical. Rule number 5, you never use silence as revenge. You use it as respect for yourself. If your silence is just a way to punish, manipulate, or play cold games, you're still in the same circus as them. This is about exiting the circus, not becoming a smarter clown. Silence isn't emotional revenge. It's emotional discipline. You're choosing not to feed chaos with your energy. Now here's the ugly part. You're not just fighting other people's noise. You're fighting your own. The loudest voice telling you to defend yourself isn't out there. It's inside your head. It's the voice that says, if I don't explain, they'll think I'm wrong. If I don't react, they'll think I'm weak. If I don't justify myself, they'll leave. They're afraid of losing control over you. Stop making that your problem. You say you're tired of feeling used? Start being more expensive. Not with money, with access. Your attention, your reactions, your explanations, they're premium currency. Stop handing them out like free samples in a mall. Ask yourself, who am I constantly defending myself to? A partner who always flips it back on you? A friend who only comes alive when there's drama? A boss who uses guilt as management? You think you're having conversations. You're not. You're participating in energy theft. Your silence is how you lock the door. You don't have to slam it. You just stop standing in the doorway trying to convince them to come in nicely. Close it. Turn around. Sit back down in your own life. This is where the line is drawn. You have 2 futures in front of you. In the first one, nothing changes. You keep defending yourself. You keep losing sleep over what you should have said. You keep letting loud people rewrite your story for you. You die full of unsent messages and imaginary comebacks. In the second one, you do something people around you never saw coming. You stop arguing. You stop defending. You stop auditioning. You become the quiet person in the room who sees everything, reacts to almost nothing, and makes decisions from a place they can't touch. You don't shout. You don't beg. You don't explain. You just walk away from anything that demands you betray yourself in order to stay. That's the version of you I'm talking to right now. The one under all the noise.
Live it.
You're not weak. You're not too quiet. You're not too much when you finally set a boundary. You're just misusing your strength, pointing it outward when you should be turning it inward. You want one exercise? Here it is. Next time someone throws bait at you, accusation, guilt, provocation, I want you to try this. 1 breath out, 1 sentence maximum, then silence. If you feel the urge to explain more, that's exactly where you stop. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Good. That's what growth feels like when you've been trained to shrink. You don't fix your life by winning more arguments. You fix your life by refusing to live on trial. You've spent years waiting for someone to finally understand you, finally validate you, finally say, you were right, you were good, you were enough. Because it's not their job. It was always yours. So we're going to do something simple. Right now, publicly, you're going to make a choice. Down there in the comments, you write, "I choose the silence that protects my power." For you. So that later, when you're about to fall back into the same pattern, you remember you made a decision in front of witnesses. You're done playing the easy target. You're done being emotionally cheap. You're done defending yourself in battles you never needed to fight. From now on, your silence is not surrender. It's strategy. Your voice is not a weapon given to everyone who wants a show. It's a privilege. You decide who gets to hear it and when. You came here thinking you needed better comebacks. You don't. You need fewer conversations. You don't have to win every argument. You just have to stop stepping into arenas built to drain you. The weak shout, the lost explain. The powerful sit in their own skin and let silence do the talking. Choose who you want to be.
The first rule of the club: